Deep in a remote tundra where no human has ever stepped, a forgotten cave hides a terrifying secret that the world should have never known today. We traveled for days to find this place, driven by curiosity and the hunger for discovery, unaware of the ancient nightmare waiting for us in the dark. The ground was cold and lifeless, every step echoing like a warning. We ignored the signs, thinking we were the masters of this untamed, frozen wild land. The entrance was hidden and swallowed by time and nature, as if the earth itself was trying to keep the horrors inside buried away from human eyes forever. As our lights hit the walls, we saw symbols that didn't belong to any known civilization. They felt like a boundary, a mark of forbidden territory. The air grew heavy and stale, smelling of old earth and something metallic. My heart began to race as the silence of the cave became deafening. I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature. Something was watching us from the depths, waiting for us to cross the final line. There was a sound, a faint rustle against the stone. Shadows seemed to move independently of our lights, dancing just out of our direct line of sight. Something is here with us. It isn't a wolf or a bear. It moves with a speed that defies the laws of nature and biology we know. We found remains. Bones larger than any creature currently living on the tundra, crushed like dry twigs by a force of unimaginable and terrifying predatory power. The marks were fresh, the signs of a struggle that ended in total annihilation. We were standing in the middle of a prehistoric feeding ground, completely exposed. Look up, the ceiling was alive with a metallic glint. Massive scales, hard as armor and cold as the surrounding stone, were coiled tightly above our heads. It wasn't rock or mineral, it was skin. A biological machine of destruction, perfectly camouflaged in the darkness of its ancient, subterranean, and forgotten mountain home. Then, the eye opened. A cold, calculating orb that had seen Eris pass while it slept in the dark, now focused entirely on its new intruders. In that single moment of recognition, I knew we were no longer the hunters or explorers. We were simply meat, delivered right to the predator's very doorstep. The ghost of the tundra revealed itself. A titan from a forgotten age, a predator that time forgot to kill, rising from its long and silent slumber. It was impossible. A creature of this size shouldn't exist. Its body was a mountain of muscle and armor, reclaiming its throne as the absolute master. It tasted the air, sensing our fear and our racing hearts. To this ancient god of the dark, we were nothing more than a small snack. The sound it made was not of this world. A screech that tore through the air and shattered our courage, signaling the beginning of our desperate end. It moved with the speed of a striking viper, but with the weight of an avalanche. There was no time to think, only time to scream. Run! Our survival instincts took over as the creature launched its first attack, turning our expedition into a frantic and hopeless race for our very lives. Don't look back, just keep moving through the dark.
Don't look
back! The tunnels
back.
felt like they were
Just
closing
climb.
in on us as we fled from the
Help me
screaming
up, please.
monster. We could hear it behind us, the sound of scales grinding against stone and the heavy wet thud of its massive body sliding through the corridors. It was faster than us. It knew these tunnels, this maze was its hunting ground, and we were trapped like rats in a pipe with no exit. The fear was paralyzing, but the adrenaline kept our legs moving. Every turn felt like a gamble with death as the predator stayed right on us. It was above us, beside us, everywhere at once. A shadow that wouldn't let go, a ghost that was all too real and hungry for our blood. Every stumble felt like a death sentence. Every slip brought us closer to those jaws. We were losing ground, and the monster was only getting faster. It cut us off at every turn, forcing us deeper into its belly. The beast was playing with us, savoring the scent of our mounting and absolute terror. The shadow grew larger, a dark eclipse that swallowed our light. We were running out of breath, running out of time, and running out of luck. Wait, no! One of us went down, the sound of the fall echoing like a bell for the predator to come and claim its first prize. There was no saving him. The monster was upon him in an instant, its presence overwhelming and its intent clear and deadly as the winter frost. I can't forget the look in his eyes. A silent plea for help that was silenced by the darkness as the entity struck with brutal, ancient efficiency. We had to keep going. Grief was a luxury we couldn't afford if we wanted to see the sky again. We ran until our lungs burned like fire. The exit, a glimmer of hope in the heart of the mountain. We pushed ourselves beyond the limit, focused only on that small circle of fading daylight. We reached the edge, but there was no path forward. A sheer drop into the abyss, a dead end at the very brink of our possible salvation. It followed us to the light. The creature stood there, and its scales gleaming in the dying sun like ancient metal, blocking the only way back to safety. It hissed, a sound of pure malice. It knew it had us trapped. There was nowhere left to run, nowhere left to hide from its ancient wrath. We had one choice: die by those teeth or take a leap of faith into the unknown. The gap between life and death was only a heartbeat. Jump. We threw ourselves into the void, all feeling the wind rush past us as the monster's jaws snapped shut on the empty air behind our heels. The impact was hard, but we were alive. The camera captured its final moments as it paced the edge of the cliff, unable to follow us further. It couldn't leave the shadows. The light of the world was its enemy, a barrier it couldn't cross. The ancient ghost was forced back into its tomb. We made it out, but we left a part of ourselves back in that darkness. The silence of the tundra now felt heavy with a new horror. No words were spoken. The trauma was too deep. We had witnessed something that defied all science, a nightmare that shouldn't exist in our modern world. The ghost of the tundra remains, a silent guardian of secrets that should stay buried. Some places are not meant for human eyes or human interference. We survived, but our dreams will forever be haunted by those eyes in the dark. The tundra remembers, and now so do we, never return.